In this video, I show you how to use the TALONS by Heisenberg. Welcome back to Vampire Vape. My name's Andrew, and yes, we're doing that. Today, we are looking at the Heisenberg TALONS, which is a little pod device, and I'm going to show you exactly how to use it. But first, let's just take a quick look at the device. So this is the device. This is the Heisenberg TALONS, which is a funky little device. We've got some RGB LED lights on these strips on the front just there. We've got Heisenberg, got this kind of like blue gradient going on here, a bit of, you know, matte, I suppose it is, a matte sort of satin finish band around the top that says TALONS on it. We've got our disposable pods on the top, which are top fillable with like an air pressure gauge, so more on that in a minute. And then we've also got a USB-C charging port on the base, as well as airflow adjustment. So that's kind of the look of the device. Let's start off by priming and prepping the pod. Okay, so first of all, you want to choose which pod you want to use out of the box, because it comes with a 0.6 and a 0.8. Now I'm going to be mouth to lung in this, so I've chosen the 0.8 ohm pod, and I've got that just here. Now I've also got my e-liquid ready, which is the caramelized banana pancake by Vampire Vape in their new sort of desserty range. Now this is a 6 milligram free base nicotine, so it will be a 60-40 in favor of PG. And yes, it's not a nic salt. This is free base, and that's why it's a 6 milligram and not a 10. So what we want to do first is just pop the top off of your pod. And then you've got two sort of ports just here. You want to choose the orange one and just pop the nib inside, press it down, and just fill it up. So you're just going to fill it up. I would recommend all the way. I'm going to do it about halfway because, you know, just for demonstration purposes, but I would fill it up all the way, I recommend, and then leave it for a good 5 minutes to saturate. If you're using the 0.6 ohm pod, the restricted direct to lung, and you're using something a bit thicker in VG, let's say like a 50-50 or a 60-40 in favor of VG, then maybe err on the side of caution and go with 10 minutes instead. But a 60 PG here for a 0.8 ohm pod, give it 5 minutes and you'll be absolutely fine. And the reason for that is that the coil inside the wicking material is cotton, and it just needs a bit of time to fully saturate. If you fill this up and just vape on it immediately, it will burn it out, which means you're throwing the whole thing in the bin and replacing it. So what you want to do, every time you buy a new pod and it's completely bone dry, fill it up, 5 minutes wait time, and then that's it. The next time you fill it up, it's already pre-saturated, so you don't need to wait. You just fill it up and vape on it. But every time you get a new one, fill it up, give it 5 minutes. And as you saw there, the reason why there's like a black side and an orange side is the black side is actually where the air escapes from when you're filling it up. So it's just a safety measure to stop it from overflowing out of the fill port, which is a cool little sprung loaded mechanism there, and it does work quite well. And then when you're ready, just pop the top piece over the top just there, and that's it. Give it 5 minutes and you're ready to go. And now let's take a look at the device itself. So here I've got our device. All you need to do is pop this one in like so. You can see the RGB LEDs are like lining up just there, and that's to indicate like, yep, it's received a pod and everything's hunky-dory just there. Now, there's not much to show you in terms of the device, honestly. You've got an airflow adjuster. So this is just, it just comes down to preference, and it lets you dial in your preference. So you can have it wide open if you like it airy, if you're using the 0.6 ohm pod and restricted direct to lung and you want a more airy sort of direct to lung experience, you want to do that. If you like a tighter draw, you can close it right off. So I personally use 0.8 ohm pods, and I like a very, very tight draw to make it much hotter and bring the flavor out even more. So I dial it as tight as possible really before it's closed off. But you've got that dial there so that you can adjust it to your own preferences. And then in terms of charging then, because it's on the base, what you want to do when you're charging it is just take the pod out and stand it upright on your table. Because if you've got the pod in, you can see all the air pressure now has like forced all the liquid down. And if you leave it for extended periods of time like this, that air pressure will drive that e-liquid to flood that coil. So that then turns that coil and your pod into a slurpy, spitty, horrible mess. Difficult to recover from. The only way to really get around it is to bin it and go for a new pod. So to get around that, just keep it upright so there's an even distribution of pressure and e-liquid around the coil and the wicking material there, and that then stops it becoming slurpy and horrible. So, you know, you're just going to get the best longevity out of it that way. And finally, to vape on it, you just simply inhale on it. I'm not going to do that now because we've just filled this up and I want to let it saturate. But if you do want to see how this vape's like, then just stick around for our overview video where we go into a bit more detail there. But that is our tutorial video for the Horizon Tech Talons. My name's Andrew, this is Vampire Vape. I'll see you in the next one.